Oh yeah, it's time to go sprint car racing. Hi everyone, I'm David Tapp and welcome to Avalon International Raceway at Geelong in Victoria. Magnificent weather conditions, a capacity crowd in tonight for round 6 of the Autopro Super Sprint Series. Tonight's event doubling as the high-profile President's Cup event for sprint cars here in Victoria. And we're going to start the program tonight by giving you a look at the list of driver nominations. Almost 40 cars here in total. I'm joined by Colin, our former sprint car driver and expert commentator on checkered flag.
The huge car count, David, for this series. It just seems to get stronger and stronger as the season rolls on. Just looking there through some of the nominations for tonight. Ian Thomsen was quick in some of the earlier rounds. We've caught on C7. Alan Barlee, big 61, and Mike Van Bremen, keep an eye on him. He's currently leading the championship. David Murcott won last time around here at Avalon Speedway.
Tommy Tarlton from California in the United States, one to watch out for tonight. In just a moment, we're taking you to Stuart McCarthy, who will catch up with some drivers in the pits. In fact, here he is, Stuart.
We're now here with Ian Lewis. Fly, you've got the brand new Maxim last year's model. Got the motor freshened up by Jeff Kendrick over there in Western Australia. We've had hot laps now. How'd the car feel?
Well, it was all a little bit new to me, but we're making a few changes. We'd lost a couple of bolts out of the drive bell, but anyway, we'll be out there and having it a go. I'd like to thank Jeff Kendricks actually, because he's looked after us a fair bit with this engine, and Australian Trucks. They're looking after us with our transport.
And it is the President's Cup tonight, and you are a previous winner back in about 1986, so you've been around in sprint car racing for a long time. No doubt you'd love to get another President's Cup underneath your belt.
Oh yeah, we've got 37 odd cars I think here tonight. Not an easy thing to do, but hopefully we can get through the heats and get up the front and keep out of everyone's way.
We wish you all the best.
We need all the luck we can get. Thanks.
One of our American visitors here for the round 6 of the Autopro Super Sprint Series, Tommy Tarlton out of California. Welcome to Avalon International Raceway, Tommy. You've been out on it now. How did the car feel?
Oh, the car feels great. The track looks pretty good. Hopefully we'll make it through this night, one piece, and put on a good show for the fans.
On the top of the car, we have a brand new wing. Tell us why this wing is extra long at the front, extra long at the back, and even a different sort of front panel on the front of it. Where are the side panels on the wing?
It's nothing special, just a little extra here and a little extra there, trying to get us to go, get us a little more downforce, get us to go a little straighter.
Couple of stickers on the front of the dashboard here. We've got a nice little lady in a bikini, and obviously Captain Snooze. I do believe you went up to Sydney there last week for the World Series up there. Had a great run up there, but what's the Captain Snooze mean on the dashboard?
Well, I didn't get it at first, but I got it now. Well, after Sydney, we had to ride 12 hours in that trailer, and it was, on the way up, it was horrible. So me and Wazza and Blaine, we all went out and had a little to drink and kind of stayed up till the sun came up, and then just climbed in the truck. And I didn't wake up till we got to Melbourne, and so I guess they kind of nicknamed me Captain Snooze. And well, the ladies, I don't know, just a little extra incentive to get out there and stay on the gas. You know how that goes.
So far, you've been out here running for the Walsh Motorsport team. You've had a good run so far. Must feel good to be in a good car.
Yeah, I got to thank Walsh Motorsports, INV Truck Repair, Sime Tires, and C&M Timber for putting this ride together for me to come out and drive around and meet the people and put on a show. And it's a real good time. And Mark and Darren, they've been great, and the whole crew, Wazza, they treat me fantastic. And I just can't thank them enough for giving me the chance to come out here and put on a show. And Formula Wings too. He let me use his shop to build this contraption that I'm trying out, and I got to thank Curly too.
And also, it's the President's Cup tonight. We've had previous winners of Steve Kinzer, Joey Saldana. No doubt you'd love to add your name to this trophy.
Oh, I'd love to go out and bring this deal home first place, but it's a long night of racing, and a lot can happen in a night of racing. So hopefully everything will hold together good, and we'll be able to be there at the end. That's the main thing.
We wish you all the best.
Oh, I'm excited, and hopefully all you fans at home get to see a good show tonight.
Round 6 of the Autopro Series here at Avalon International Raceway. The man that's leading the points at the moment, Ian Thomsen. Tomo, great to be back here at Avalon, and no doubt you'd love to have a feature win.
The feature, we're in front in this series, and it's good. I'm mucking around with Colin Bulmer and Mick Van Bremen, giving them a slag, and it's good fun between all of us. And I've got to get a feature under my belt one day. I get out in front there, and I start going slower or doing something. I haven't quite figured that out yet, but I've got to get one day.
You've been out there for hot laps. The track looks like it's got 2 racing lines on it.
Yeah, well, I was playing around up high, and it felt pretty good up there. We're changing the car for where we are out in the heat. We're in the 3rd round, so sort of guessing what it's going to do till then, change it around a bit. But yeah, she looks all right, and I'm assuming with this heat and later on tonight she's going to be a dry slick final. unless they grade it or do something, play around with it a bit. But yeah, should be all right.
Well, wish you all the best.
No worries, thanks, Stewie.
Thank you to Stuart McCarthy in the pits as you look down at a small portion of this massive crowd at the Avalon International Raceway. Victory Lane Race Gear presenting Heat 1 in round 6 of this Autopro tournament. Barlee, Warren, Swayn, Telford, Moole, Reid, Van Bremen, Smith, Russell and Scott.
As we get ready to go green this time around, Jeremy Warren on the outside of the front row. Barlee comes out at one, stands on the throttle. There's contact back in the pack. But it's Barlee who gets away first of all. Jeremy Warren runs in second. The Western Australian, first year they've come over from Western Australia to campaign with these guys, week in, week out, as the yellow flag comes out.
Have a look at that shot. Check out the crowd. Absolutely jam-packed in here as we see 3 cars involved in a problem on the entry to the main straight. Car 53, Tony Moole. We caught a shot of him. A couple of others involved there too, including Peter Telford in the predominantly red car. Unfortunately, our camera's not able to pick up exactly what transpired on that occasion. Meantime, we'll check out the replay at the start. Oh, there it is.
Peter Telford had the front wing tore off there.
At the back, I must admit I didn't actually catch that on the extreme left-hand side of screen. Initially, there's Matthew Reid, Victorian car number 49. So a full race restart in heat number 1. Alan Barlee, driver on pole position. Can he maintain that posse? Jeremy Warren, the West Australian driver, sweeping by on the outside. Good action here in the opening heat. There's a nice shot of the West Aussie driver in full flight.
That time round it was Warren who got the better of the start from the outside front row. Now it's Barlee in second place, comes under siege. Mike Van Bremen moves into third place in the IMV Truck Repairs number 6 machine.
Van Bremen has been one of the real standout drivers in this tournament thus far. The 2000-2001 summer, there's a car having a big push, Barlee, so he finds himself under increasing pressure now from Van Bremen, who did a good job there, Colin. He started to drift up, almost made contact, but got off it.
Yeah, the track is a little bit greasy down there on the bottom. He knew he was going to drift up and make contact with Barlee, got out of the throttle and picked it back up.
How responsive are these cars when you get off the gas in times of potential crisis, as we saw there?
Yeah, the cars handle quite badly when you do get out the throttle quickly. They tend to go to the fence a little bit quicker, so he's quite lucky there that he got in behind Barlee. These cars do not have a flywheel in them, so when you get on the throttle, the power is instant, but also when you get off the throttle, the decrease in acceleration is instant as well. So take quite a bit of getting used to now as we watch as Barlee starts to make some ground up now on Warren, who's leading at the moment in the white 52 machine.
So that dramatic loss of compression when you get off the horsepower can lead to all sorts of handling nightmares. They're starting to pack up now, the leading trio of cars. Warren, race leader, has to contend with one of the slower cars. It's Ashley Scott out of Mount Gambier in the Scott's Transport entry. Racing bar on the outside now is Barlee. So the slower car there doing Jeremy Warren no favours whatsoever.
One of the hardest things with the sprint car, they don't have the big rear vision mirrors on the side. You can't tell how close that guy is behind you. You get in lap traffic, you cannot afford to hesitate there, as we've seen Jeremy Warren lost the spot.
Moole making good progress after starting from position 5 in car 53. We caught a shot of him momentarily, moving up the challenge for a top 3 posse. There's our leader though, Barlee. Nicely turned out, car 2. Warren followed by Van Bremen. Van Bremen not making that much more progress after looking very sharp a few laps ago.
He got through the field at the start of the race, come out of position 7. Got into third quite quickly now as he seems to settle in behind Jeremy Warren, but it's all Alan Barlee out in front of the 61 machine doing a great job. Track conditions seem to be coming to the cars a bit now, going to be quicker.
There's Van Bremen out of turn number 4. Second last occasion as we see a problem on turn 2 involving Barlee, who was the race leader. Doesn't look too happy with himself either. You'll probably find that race will be declared now. They had less than a lap to negotiate before checkered flag time. Another look at it on the replay.
Just seen there, he got the white flag. He had 1 to go as he came up on lap traffic. They were running side by side. The boys made contact. Alan Barlee had nowhere to go.
Yeah, the drivers in question were Telford and Darren Russell, you'll find, and organisers have rightly declared that race, with Barlee being given the victory. Van Bremen home in second ahead of Jeremy Warren. It was a fairly interesting affair with a couple of different leaders, and I think they made the right decision there, don't you?
Yeah, he really had nowhere to go there, and another restart. We've seen Barlee seem to have the stronger hand in that race. He could have probably drawn away once again, as we see a move there as Mike Van Bremen, the 6th machine, made a move on the black New York car.
What about the crowd that has packed into this venue tonight? If you may have just joined our coverage, on checkered flag. It's round 6 of the Autopro Super Sprint Series. Tonight, the event doubling as the President's Cup. As you look at the grid in heat number 2 for Hoosier Tyres, Knight, Scott, Docherty and Brown are your top 4. Car 14, Pete Knight starting on pole position, predominantly yellow machine. Brown outside second row. Away we go.
Ray Scott really jumped away quickly there from position 2. I was surprised the officials let this one go. As the yellow flags come on, they're going to make them restart it again.
A little bit of premature excitement there on the outside. You can see the pole man really almost stalled. I don't really think it was Scott's fault, Colin. The man on pole, Peter Knight, went to sleep.
You tend to do that. If the guy on the outside gets a better jump and you think the officials will pull it back, you make it look worse by not picking up the throttle at all.
All right, here we go. Exciting moment this evening at Avalon International Raceway. Again, the superior start on the outside. This bloke, Ray Scott, he is very experienced. Been around the sport for a long, long time. Out of Mount Gambier. Home track, the borderline venue. And we saw an early round of the Auto Pro Series conducted at that venue. We come back under amber caution lights again.
In that first heat race, we got to see the number 10 car of Ashley Scott. That's Ray's son. So it's a family affair. They'll probably come together a bit later tonight in the feature race.
Brent Hough in 56 was the reason for the stoppage. Away we go. Will it be Scott again on the outside? Knight probably getting away a little slower than he would like. He's just trying to stay out of harm's way at the moment. Trying to sort that car out. Here come the challengers. They look ferocious, don't they? The mighty sprint cars in full flight at the Avalon Raceway.
Keep your eye on David Murcott there in the yellow car, just coming into camera there. It's come from the back of the pack, 1 lap down, already in 3rd position.
David Brown we were looking at in the black car. Tommy Tarlton too, the Californian player whom Stuart McCarthy spoke to at length prior to the racing starting. Oh, there's an absolute rendition of Swan Lake on the clay here. A little bit of ballet, and one's gone upside down too.
That's Brown upside down. He was running second. It was David Murcott making all the moves. If you watch a replay here, Murcott hauled in on the bottom, slid in. Oh, David Brown left with nowhere to go. Got it back down on the ground, but there was nowhere left to go but straight into the wall.
Well, the crowd getting their money's worth already as Brown sails back down to earth. It could have been a lot worse, but from his perspective, I'm sure it will be bad enough. The damage to the car, 71 Murcott, as Colin Farr called. These guys just not driving to the track conditions early in this meeting. There's Brown, he's out of the car, receiving nice ovation from the crowd. He won't be a happy man. And there's the little kid with the earmuffs on, which isn't a bad idea when you come to the sprint cars. They make plenty of noise.
700 horsepower in these machines, and they scream. We get ready to go green again now. It'll be Ray Scott who will lead them away. Knight out of 2, and Tommy Tarlton now in position 3.
These cars, 372 cubic inches capacity. That in itself is a fairly contentious issue in National Oval Track racing at the moment, as we watch Tommy Tarlton in the INV, car number 22, the American, making good progress. In America, the open class comprising 410 cubic inches. And of course, there's a restricted class of 360s as well. We have that in this country, as we have the 372 as our elite class. What are your views on that, Colin?
I can understand the argument they're having. Guys can go over to America, pick up a good 410 motor, probably around about the 20,000 US mark second hand. As you can see Tarlton there pull off a great move on Knight. When they come back to Australia, they've got to spend an additional $15,000 putting crank rods and pistons to bring it back down to our size. So you understand both sides of the argument. A lot of guys think the 410 will be a little bit cheaper to run, and it will be definitely a bit quicker.
Might talk about that in upcoming episodes of Checkered Flag, because there is a lot of banter about it at the moment. And I am privy to some information I saw from the Gertie factory recently, obviously one of the top engine manufacturers in the States, suggesting that 410s are way too expensive. So I thought that was interesting, and we'll talk more about that in upcoming issues of the program or episodes of the program. Now Scott is under siege from Tommy Tarlton, the American on the outside. Have a look at him now, winding it up for an outside pass. That's beautiful stuff. He took 2 of them.
Great drive there from Scott. Had nowhere to go. He turned infield to try and get past the lap car. That's all it took for the American. Took it right around the outside.
So Tarlton firing an early warning shot after starting from position number 7. That wing does look crazy, doesn't it? It is a fair bit bigger than the other cars are running. I recall you and I and Brad Doty talking about it at length during the telecast of our Goff and Gilmore coverage on C7. It is 100% legal. He's exploited the rules to the maximum.
Yeah, I won't be surprised to see if they bring in a rule and change it and make everyone go back to a smaller wing, but he's the only guy using it. And and definitely worked in that one as he took away with the win there from Ray Scott.
Tommy Tarlton, the victor. Scott second. Peter Knight third. I don't think Scott would be overly disappointed. He's been beaten there by a very talented racing driver. There is the Californian doing a couple of further laps just for good measure. Winner of Heat 2. Round 6 Autopro Super Sprint Series doubling tonight as the President's Cup for sprint cars.
Watch a replay now as Tarlton come on the back of Knight as he just drives right along on the inside, drifts it up to the wall on the back straightaway. Car bouncing around, front wheels in the air.
This was beautiful, this outside pass.
This was the move for first position now as we watch the I&V truck repairs. 22, the American on the outside. Ray Scott come up on the lap car, decided to go to the inside. Tarlton was gone.
In this sport, you snooze, you lose. And Scott got held up behind the slower car and he wished to heck he hadn't. He was just a little conservative and it cost him the race win there, no doubt about it. You couldn't say the same about Tarlton. Alan Petcher will drive his car, number 83 off pole in Heat 3 for DNF Racing Products. Van Bremen, Lewis, Matthews, Dalton, Thomsen, Vogels, Parr, Ramsdale, Craig, Lawless, rounding out this 10-car field to do battle in Heat number 3 of the Autopro Series. And the organisers of this tournament, led by Ian Vale, already have been in touch with us about wishing to continue our exclusive coverage on C7 of this tournament next summer. We'll be in that, won't we, Colin? How good is this?
Great car counts, great racing now as we see they're 3 wide there going through the first turn as we get Ian Lewis in camera shot now. First night out in a brand new car, brand new engine, so keep an eye on him later on. As Pitcher now in 83, he leads them away.
Yeah, Alan Pitcher, he's pitching her in sideways and it looks pretty good at the moment, that car. Predominantly orange machine now of Rod Matthews, currently on the left-hand side of your screen. He was very competitive, I remember, just before Christmas in one of the early Autopro rounds. I think I'm correct in saying right here at this venue at the Avalon International Raceway. Track's in a lot better shape tonight too than the last time we were here. It was terribly slick and the racing was fairly slow on that occasion.
Watch now as Pitcher in the lead, but it's Ian Lewis who's getting right up on the tail of that 83 machine looking for the pass. Ian Lewis, a very, very aggressive driver. I got a chance to race against him quite a few times. Wouldn't give anybody an inch.
No, he wouldn't. And look at this now, they pack up. Lewis throws it sideways in the Austrans Truck Centre entry, car number 18. She's still fairly greasy out there, the surface. He got into trouble, saw someone have half a loose, stood on the anchors and around he goes.
Just made contact with the back of Pitcher and that was enough to spin this machine around as we see him lock it up there, but no damage to the number 18 machine. They'll fire it up. He'll come from the back.
No major harm done there to Ian Lewis. We'll get set to send them away again, this time Indian file. In Heat number 3, round 6 Autopro Series. Standing on the gas is Alan Pitcher, race leader. So he gets them away, heading down the back straight.
Rod Matthews still in second position in the yellow number 9 machine now as it's Pitcher out in front. Hanging on, lifting the front wheels there as he comes back onto the main straightaway. The NZ 83 machine doing a great job out in front, Alan Pitcher.
Nice tight shot of Alan at work in the office. Heading back down through turns 3 and 4 as that shot graphically shows. He's opened up a fairly big break over them already.
There's John Vogels there running in third. It's Matthews in position 2. We see the teammate to David Murcott there in the yellow 77. That's Adrian Parr. Francis Ramsdale and Ian Lewis had to start rear of field.
I was about to say, Ramsdale's seems to be going okay. Looking fairly quick out there. The one shot we did get of him. Back up front now with Alan Pitcher in car 83.
It's a lap down on Craig Lawless in the 31 machine.
Bit of a cushion developing, Colin, on the racetrack now.
Great shot there as we see him go into turn number 3, working the wheel. Look at those front wheels go from one angle to the other. He's really hard at work here, Pitcher. It's a great shot there as you see him left, right, correcting the car as it jumps around through the bumps.
I think that's one aspect of, well, not just sprint car racing, but speedway specifically, that people, the uninitiated, tend to underestimate the fitness on the upper part of your body.
We'll get a shot now of Vogels in third position.
Oh, we've got more smoke than an Indian scouting party. Have a look at that. Up she goes.
That was our race leader, Pitcher, as he tries to get out of that car quickly. The whole car's getting engulfed in flames here.
You don't often see that. These cars running methanol, they tend to burn, well, a clear flame, you'd almost say, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
but he's out of the car. That's good news.
That one looks like she's done some serious damage to the engine. That's an oil fire as opposed to a
A fuel fire.
Which David was talking about, which will burn an invisible flame.
It's a very good point. So the oil igniting on the race leader's car. Well, that's very, very unlucky for Alan Pitcher, who was, well, had it all together and was certainly going to take the checkered flag. That's where the problem starts. That's a different camera angle to what we were looking at the time. Matthews, the ultimate victor. Vogels second. Dalton third. And have a look at that fire. And very quickly, the driver extricates himself from the car, trying to get himself out of the 5-point racing harness. And the quick release steering wheel, you can see a good example of it there. We're on fire. Thanks for joining us this week right here on C7 Sport. Great to have you with us on Checkered Flag and round 6 of the Autopro Super Sprint Series coming your way on this week's program. This is the sprintcarworld.com.au fourth qualifying heat with Colin Bulmer starting on pole in car number 12. And he got away to a very good start, Colin Farr.
Another picture there in second place. This is Graeme picture at this time. Let's hope he doesn't go up in flames. You see the KFC machine there of Phil Johnson, position 3 on the inside. And it's Jeff Judd running on the outside there in the Autopro number 11. So run 2 wide coming on the back straightaway. It's Judd running on the outside. He's pulled the move right around the outside of picture there.
Beautiful work by jumping Jeff Judd on that occasion. Taking 2 spots, the KFC driver, Phil Johnson, decides to fight back. He wants to argue the point with Jeff Judd. Judd winning the opening round of this championship at the Nyora Raceway in Victoria. Going back last year in November, if memory serves me correctly.
Also good to see a big name like KFC getting involved in sprint car racing.
There's Shane Stephenson in car 75. We caught a glimpse of him. Have a look at that crowd tonight packed into the Avalon International Raceway at Geelong in Victoria. It's damn near capacity tonight. You could barely find a blade of grass to stand on.
Get a good shot now. Cole Bulmer, our race winner at the race leader at the moment in the 12 machine.
So Bulmer negotiating the back section as he exits turn number 2. Sets it up for the slide through 3 and 4. He's running down very low on the circuit. There is a cushion starting to develop, and Jeff Judd is well aware of that.
Jeff Judd's made a lot of progress from the back of the pack now as he starts to close in on Cole Bulmer.
His car handling very nicely, squatting in the turns, getting plenty of drive. Let's see how this pans out. You would have to say at this stage, Colin, that Judd looks to be infinitely quicker of the 2.
Judd's been pulling in a couple of car lengths now as he makes a lot of ground up there as they go into turn 3, coming on the main straightaway. We see Judd running a lot higher on the racetrack than Bulmer.
Yeah, very much so. Bulmer, oh, be careful. Here's Judd on the outside. Once again, we see the slower car playing a major role in the outcome of races. In this heat, Judd now assumes control of proceedings.
This series is so competitive. These guys cannot afford to take any time getting past the lap car. You can't afford to sit behind him. You've got to get on him. And as you've seen there, Judd just went right around the outside. It's paid off now as he gets into some thick traffic with 1 lap to go.
The dark racing line up higher on the circuit. Gee, Judd has really turned it on for the fans here tonight in this particular heat. Look at him passing car after car on the outside. That's entertaining stuff from Jeff Judd. Good job to the driver of the Autopro car, taking victory in heat number 4. Bulmer second, Johnson third. He was just too good for them, Colin. No other way of saying it, no other way of looking at it.
We noticed earlier that Judd was running a bit higher on the racetrack, and that's what paid dividends when they got into traffic. All the guys are running on the low side of the racetrack now as we see a picture of Judd. Runs high up on the back straightaway into turn 3, and that was what got him through. Definitely had that car set up to run really high on the racetrack.
Yeah, very entertaining stuff. That's what the fans want to see, don't they? Drivers flying around the outside, rubbing the concrete wall.
Bulmer went to the inside, lost drive there as he runs across the infield.
Yeah, that was the decisive moment, the telling moment in that race. As they say, in other forms of sport, like rugby league, for example, it was the turning point. Judd, too good for them. The kids out in force tonight, enjoying this immensely. Now for Autopro Parts Professionals, we bring you Heat 5, round 6 of the Super Sprint Series, par on pole in car number 77. And he gets away very quickly too.
And here he comes again, Judd on the outside now in position 3. That's Ian Thomsen in position 2 in the green and black machine. Keep an eye on Judd in the last one. We watched him run the high line.
See, the track's behaving nicely, isn't it? There's plenty of moisture, plenty of drive in this racetrack. Parr the leader. Thomsen runs second. Waiting for Judd to burst back onto the scene. He just was there. We saw him in the top of your picture.
It looks like Judd won't have it quite as easy this time around, as Adrian Parr's doing a good job out in front. Notice the top wing on that car is sitting quite flat at the moment. That tells the track's pretty drivey. They haven't got to stand these top wings up at a large angle to create any more downforce. Now as we get another shot of the ram build, 77. Adrian Parr lifting the front wheels off the ground as he runs down the back straightaway.
Yeah, the front wheels coming off the ground regularly. He is a little untidy, it's got to be said. Thomsen likewise heads onto the infield for an unscheduled off-track excursion. That enables Judd to move up a couple of spots. So the Autopro car sailing along once again, and we do have a problem with a driver that has spun midway turns 3 and 4. That'll bring on the Ambers, and another one that stopped as well.
Charles Hunter in the 73 machine with a flat left rear tyre there. Cole Bulmer, we caught him running second in the last race.
Yeah, he started this particular heat out of position number 8, so he was always going to be facing a bigger challenge. Race restart. Big crowd packed in here. That vantage point between turns 3 and 4 is one of the most popular parts of this raceway to assemble if you are a spectator. So Thomsen will lead them away. Jeff Judd will be in second. And Thomsen appears to be just as quick as Jeffrey Judd on this occasion.
Something must have happened to Adrian Parr on that restart. He was our race leader before we went yellow. Had to pull off with a mechanical failure now as this Thomsen comes under siege from Judd.
The pictures looking fabulous from the Avalon International Raceway. Here's Jeffrey Judd lining up an outside pass on Ian Thomsen as we cut back to our race leaders and the duel for first and second. Thomsen equal to the task at the moment. They're running varying lines, Colin. One is running down low on the racetrack, our leader. The other is prepared to venture up high on the circuit.
You notice there, Jeff Judd's just racing right up on that fine line between finding the drive and getting a little bit higher and getting in what they call marbles, all that loose dirt that's been thrown up there. We seen it that last time around. He got a little bit high and lost a lot of ground. Now as he gets it back down track a little bit, making some ground again on Thomsen.
The thundering sprint cars putting on a tremendous spectacle tonight. Round 6 of the Autopro Series. You're watching it exclusively on C7 Sport.
2 laps left remaining now as we see Judd going to throw everything at Thomsen here in these last 2 laps.
Thomsen in front, out of turn number 4. Judd knows he's got to do it right now. Last lap flag on display. They're separated by about 10 metres. Thomsen booted away, and I don't think Judd's going to have sufficient time. So out of turn 4 for the final time, Ian Thomsen in car 32 takes victory in heat number 5. Jeff Judd second. Rod Matthews, who claimed an earlier heat tonight, was officially awarded 3rd place. So several of the heavy hitters in this Autopro Series all coming together there in heat number 5.
Track conditions are really good here tonight. We can see that Jeff Judd's shown there is 2 ways around this place. You can go up, get her up against the boards and run around the outside. You'll see a replay here as you'll see Judd sitting about a car length higher on the track than Thomsen. Yeah, making some good ground just till he gets to the outside of the corner there and it gets a little bit wide in the loose stuff.
Great stuff. Thoroughly enjoying this. Hope you are too. MD Motorsport for Max Dumsney. Heat 6, round 6 Autopro Series. Bastow, Ramsdale, Stephenson, Vogels are the top 4. Oh, a big coming together there. Just as we saw the green flag, all hell broke loose.
Contact before the start. Bastow was due to come out of position 1.
The apex roof trusses entry. A little worse for wear.
Good for Bastow. The rules are with this series, if you do require a push track, as you see a replay, it was actually Francis who sort of turned left there. Made contact with Bastow. He ripped his front wing off as well.
Yeah, we've got a front wing that was torn off another car. It may have been Ramsdale. We'll see how it pans out. So we have a slightly different looking leading 4 here in this pack.
Officials have decided to let Paul Bastow start back in position 1. That's unusual.
Oh, and Bastow, it's got to be said, is all over the shop at the moment.
It's John Vogels who's jumped out to a big lead already in the first lap. Phil Johnson in second.
The KFC car running with plenty of herbs and spices at the moment.
Johnny Vogels in the 70 machine now leads it as he runs out of turn number 4 on the main straightaway. Ian the Fly Lewis now in 3rd position in the blue and white number 18 Austrans machine.
I've heard you're a big KFC fan too. If we'd be nice to them, we may have a visit paid to us in the commentary box.
Sounds all right to me. You see now Ian Lewis in 3rd position. The battle back through the pack for 4th and 5th position. That's Stephenson in 75.
Indeed, Stephenson. He's been prominent on more than one occasion tonight. Racetrack behaving far better than the previous round that we saw the mighty sprint cars here. If you may have just joined our coverage and you've doubted previously the legitimacy, the authenticity of sprint car racing, have a look at the crowd packed into this venue tonight. We've seen some monster crowds assembling to see some of the major sprint car events on C7 this summer. None bigger than the Goff and Gilmore Cap that we showed you live from Parramatta Raceway back in February.
Great shot there, as we've seen Johnny Vogels pull his left hand off the steering wheel, tear one of those tear-offs off as he went down the back straightaway. What half of these drivers, they've got to pull about 13, 14 of those clear tear-offs on there. It gets quite hard to see under these lights.
The Vogels in the Graham's Cleaning Supplies entry. Out of turn number 4. Absolutely blitzing them. There's Bastow crawling around at the top of the racetrack, trying to stay out of harm's way. I've got a feeling he may create some trouble, though.
Trying to pick up a couple of points for later on tonight. Every position counts here tonight. Every race finish will count towards a starting position in tonight's final.
The thundering V8's 700 plus horsepower. We're going to see Vogels take the victory here tonight. Johnson in the KFC car couldn't go on with the challenge. Finished a long way back in 2nd. And Ian Lewis was 3rd in car number 18.
Stephenson fought it out right down to the wire to grab 4th position.
In the ever ahead of Dalton, Pitcher and Bastow. It ended up being a depleted field because of the carnage we saw transpiring at the start of the race.
Replay here now. The second restart, we've seen Vogels run away from position number 2. Paul Bastow must have had some problems from that first incident there, as we see him nearly taking out the rest of the field as he drifted high.
That's a nice wrap. Nearly taking out the rest of the field. I like it.
I'll tell it as I see it. As we see Vogels now coming around. Take the race win. Great drive from John Vogels in car 70.
In the fair dinkum department, Colin, you're a former very good driver of sprint cars. I'll ask you the question in a moment. The Valvoline Scramble now. Next on the program, Judd, Tarlton, Vogels, Matthews, Johnson, Van Bremen. This will be an absolute cracker. 6 of the fast men here tonight, about to stand on the gas at the Avalon International Raceway. Can they stop the flying American Tommy Tarlton? He has checked out. What's doing, fellas?
Jeff Judd just did not go at all there. He's actually broken the front axle on that car. The 2 front wheels were both pointing outwards there at the start.
Which is not a good thing.
Good thing at all.
140 clicks.
You won't see any more part of Jeff Judd in this one, as we see Thomsen, Tommy Tarlton again on the outside of the front row.
Vogels there, currently on screen. He tucks into 2nd on the racetrack. Then a big break back to Johnson in the KFC car. It's Tommy Tarlton, the American, out in front. Now I'm going to ask you that question. Be honest, how, in percentage terms, how often are you guys out of control? You can't tell me this sport is about being in control.
Especially on a track like this where you've got a few ruts in there. You're wide open, 700 horsepower. At the end of these straightaways, these cars are doing anywhere to about 130 kilometres an hour. You hit a rut, next thing you know, you're facing the fence, you're facing the infield. It's exciting stuff to do. It's exciting stuff to watch now as we see Vogels in the 70 machine.
So you do admit then, you do concede that the majority of sprint car drivers could give a Panadol a headache.
Panadol, I've never heard that one. It's great. It is true. I mean, these guys are hanging on. You see here from this shot as they run the back straightaway, you see how busy Tommy is at the wheel there, just correcting the car all the time. Pointing left, it's pointing right as he jumps out of the ruts with 1 to go.
A ferocious racing machine is a modern day sprint car. Tommy Tarlton knows how to get the best out of them, though, as you can see. We go in nice and tight on the American across the lane. Checkered flag time for the man representing the Stars and Stripes of the USA. He takes victory in the Valvoline Scramble. John Vogels 2nd. Phil Johnson was 3rd. And no one can say that Colin Farr is not honest.
Tommy Tarlton.
You still haven't answered my question, though. I asked what percentage of the time are you out of control?
Probably 20 to 30%.
Oh, that's not right. That's a lot more than that.
Tommy Tarlton. With a name like Tommy Tarlton, he had to be a race car driver, didn't he?
He sure did.
And doing a great job. That huge wing on that car just serves as a big rudder. We see him coming out of turn 4 there on the main straightaway. INV Truck Repair is the sponsor, big supporter of sprint car racing here.
Okay, we move right along for Autopro now in round 6 of the Championship Series, known as the Super Sprint Tournament. The C main, Ramsdale, Telford, Scott, Nelson, Bastow, Parr, Carr, Hough, Hunter, Docherty, Pitcher, Smith, Brown, and Lawless. So it's all about trying to perform well in this event so that you can transfer, Colin, to the B main. A host of cars in action tonight, which really is testament to the strength and depth in the Autopro Series.
4 cars will transfer from this one through to the B main. What an amazing thing about this series this year is, as each round goes on, we seem to get more and more cars. Normally you'd expect it to be the other way around.
They're breeding like rabbits in this series. And
yeah,
we're underway.
It's Ramsdale, runs it. Oh, contact.
Oh!
Smith.
Up
That's
and
Scott,
over.
Ashley Scott, the young fella.
Well, that's a baptism of fire. Welcome to sprint car racing. Getting it all crossed up on turn number 2, and that car has literally fallen apart. You can see how much interest it's created on the hill. All the spectators, particularly the kids, sprinting down for a bird's eye view. Another look at it with Mr. Sprint Car, Colin Farr, who was only out of control 30% of the time.
Actually, Scott was out of control 90% here as we see him running the first turn. It was actually Telford who come down racetrack. Scott had nowhere to go. He was the innocent bystander in that one.
The interesting thing was that there was not a lot of speed on either. The race has been declared. Ramsdale, Telford and Nelson being the top 3. We didn't get to show you much of the C main in our highlights package tonight. We'll take a break. Back shortly. Welcome back to Avalon International Raceway. You're watching round 6 of the Autopro Series. We now advance to the B main this week on checkered flag. Dalton, Sheils, Stephenson, Russell, Murcott, Thomsen, Knight, McCubbin, Swayn and Pitcher. They are the top 10, but you can expect the likes of Van Bremen to be well and truly on the charge. That reflects, Colin Farr, how tough it is in this series when you've got a guy like Van Bremen in the B main.
And David Murcott, last time we seen him win here, he's come out of position 5 in this one. So he splits him on running down the back straightaway. David Murcott in the 71 machine.
Indeed, Murcott absolutely on the fly here in car number 71, threading the eye of the needle, weaving in and out of the traffic.
That's Troy Sheils now running in the back straightaway. He's leading at the moment. We've got a shot here of Ian Thomsen in the green and black car, running high into turn 3 as he works his way through the field. He moves into 3rd position now.
I'm sorry to cut across you there, Colin. An exciting moment, though, not for Stephenson, the driver, but for us watching. He clouts the wall big time, although it doesn't appear to have, sustained that much damage.
We've got a shot here coming out of turn number 2. They'll run down the back straight. We see Stephenson just going out a shot there. It was Thomsen. He ran in there on the bottom. Just keep your eye on the right-hand side of the screen. See Stephenson just got up into those marbles we talked about earlier.
Yeah, he did it all on his own. By the way, as we look at that replay, or the tail end thereof, I'd like to take a moment to explain to our viewers the C main that we saw prior to the break. Ordinarily, the series organisers would never declare a race without a lap being completed. There is such a thing as a time curfew when you're running motorsport at night with noise pollution laws. With the time curfew bearing down upon us, organisers had no option other than to declare the race. I thought that required clarification.
See now it's Troy Sheils out in front. But it's David Murcott in the yellow 71 who's done all the moves so far. He's hauled him in. Let's see if he can do anything with it now. Don't forget 4 cars will transfer out of this race, but David Murcott's a racer. He'll throw everything he need to get the win.
Gee, they're running quickly like grease lightning. The duo up front. No place for the faint-hearted. They are really getting around here very quickly. Look at the smoke now starting to pour off the right rear of David Murcott. Geez, looked good tonight, Murcott, hasn't he?
Has he got caught up in one of those heat race incidents, which has made him have to start in the B main. That's how tough it is. He can't afford to drop a heat race in this series.
We had a look there at some of the other drivers in this race. Meantime, Sheils under siege from Murcott. This is a great race. You'd expect Murcott to switch lanes and have a go on the outside. Here he comes now. There's some slower cars. That will help or hinder our race leader. Well, once again, we see it. It's a decisive factor, isn't it? The slower cars, and the man that judges it best invariably finds the race lead.
It's only like flipping a coin when these guys come up on the back of a lap car. And that time it was the inside that paid dividends for the man Murcott. 71 now. He gets on the back of Pitcher. Lap traffic already a problem in this race.
Hasn't he got the car set up superbly? He's getting the job done here tonight. That's the 3rd graphic example of what slower traffic can do to you that we've seen on this show tonight, isn't it?
Listen there, I think for all the guys who get a chance to catch this on replay, we've seen now as it's Murcott runs on the high side.
Car 16, David Van Bremen. Oh, that's David Van Bremen. I think I incorrectly referred to him as the other Van Bremen.
Mike Van Bremen, his
earlier
brother.
tonight. I apologise when I was going through the grid earlier. I beg your pardon. To the Van Bremens and their fans.
David Murcott in the Ramsdale. We see the smoke coming off that right rear tyre there as he comes out of 4.
Well, look
Runs
out.
in very hard there on David Swayn in the 20 machine.
Swayn was a round winner of this Autopro tournament earlier in the summer. Great stuff from the Autopro series.
Murcott's pulled out a big lead, but he doesn't know that as he gets into lap traffic again. He won't muck around with these guys. Nothing worse than that when you're running out in front. You come up and there's 2 guys racing each other side by side on the racetrack.
So, no doubt about it, the likes of Murcott are going to transfer through to the B main tonight. 1 lap remaining. It's been quite a drive from Murcott, who started from posse number 5 in this B main and has really been unchallenged since taking the race lead away from Troy Sheils about half a dozen laps ago. He takes the checkered flag in the B main and will subsequently qualify for tonight's main event.
Takes the checkered flag on checkered flag. David Murcott, Ian Thomsen and Troy Sheils, first 3 place getters in the B main here tonight.
That was an emphatic victory by Murcott, you've got to say, firing a warning shot to all the other drivers here tonight. I don't think anyone has looked any quicker than Murcott in that race so far tonight.
And look at the amount of cars running. This is the B main. Some promoters would be quite proud to call this their A main.
Exactly.
Now, as we see a shot here, Murcott running on the outside.
Beautiful camera work. A snarling beast, these sprint cars, even in slow-mo. They look just magnificent, don't they? The attitude of the cars, the drivers gritting the teeth, hanging on for grim life. I'll bet you the circulation was ordinary on the knuckles as you hold onto that steering wheel, setting sail around the outside. But according to Colin Farr, they're only out of control 25% of the time. This is the most important race of the night, round 6 of the Autopro Super Sprint Series. Vogels, Tarlton, Johnson, Van Bremen, Mike, that is, Matthews, Judd, Scott, Bulmer, Barlee, Moole, Warren, Lewis, Murcott, Thomsen, Sheils and Dalton. This is a Class A 5-star quality field. Tarlton outside front row. We get set to send them on their way. Will officials be happy with that? Tarlton did appear to jump a little prematurely, I'd say. We'll wait and see what they do as the cars sprint down the back straight. It would appear they're unhappy. I just saw the amber lights come on.
Oh, been a yank, Tommy there. A big jump on the start from the outside front row. We see him run away with the dash.
Mind you, I've seen worse starts than that being let go again. Perhaps not in this series, but elsewhere in the country. And speaking of this series and the country, there was a poll conducted recently, Colin, that you've got some info about, rating this series as the best in the country.
Yeah, www.sprintcarworld.com. Often put a few little questions on there to get some feedback from the fans. Out of all the state series that's run around Australia, it's this series, the Victorian Autopro Super Sprint Series, is rated number 1, 48%. I think it does the best image for the sport. That's a real testament to these guys.
So that was the question, which state series is projecting the best image for sprint car racing? The Autopro tournament you're watching polled at number 1 with 48%. What was second, by the way, Colin?
The Western Australia Wild West Series, 23%, so a big jump. Down to the New South Wales Series, 11%. The Queensland Titan Futurable S, 11%. And the South Australian Series, 6%.
Oh, Van Bremen making an error. He goes infield, should be able to rejoin without too many problems, stays out of harm's way. But I'd suggest lost about 7 places there. As we pan through the pack, there is Tommy Tarlton, the American, leading this main event, round 6 of the Autopro Series. Mind you, it's only early days in this race.
It'll be hard to run down out in front at the moment, but it'll be traffic will be the deciding factor here tonight. He'll be in traffic in about another 3 or 4 laps.
Yeah, traffic or unforeseen mechanical problems or something of that nature. It's such a hot field, you can't afford to be, well, giving any form of start to your competitors.
Jeff Judd in the Autopro machine there, comes back onto the main straightaway, running in behind Johnny Vogels in the 70 machine. As you see that car jump around, another shot here of Tommy Tarlton.
There's our race leader in the INV Truck Repairs entry. INV Truck Repairs, big supporters of sprint car racing, particularly in Victoria. Track starting to chop up a bit. There's the odd groove and rut starting to occur or appear on the surface here at Avalon International Raceway, Geelong. It's starting to get fairly black in parts too, which is understandable on a clay track at this time of the night.
Especially in those two corners there. That's turns 3 and 4 as they come onto the main straightaway. Turns 1 and 2 looks like it's in a bit better condition at the moment. The guys are running a lot lower down there. But you'll notice these guys, when they get into turns 3 and 4, the corner that Tommy's going into now, they'll run a little bit higher on the racetrack, just keeping that right rear tyre above that black line.
Yeah, keeping it decidedly lower as he goes through 1 and 2 and heads onto the back straight. Well, Tarlton is a clear-cut race leader at this stage of proceedings. Looking to see for you some of the other drivers that are running quickly. The likes of Murcott, Judd, Johnson, Van Bremen are all making good progress at the moment, staying out of harm's way. And obviously the slower cars, as was correctly pointed out by Colin Farr, will once again have a major bearing on this race. By the way, the American driving a Maxim chassis out in front. I think I'm correct in saying, Colin, that Max Dumsney out of Sydney is now the Maxim importer for Australia too, isn't he?
He is. Maxim chassis have been really strong in Australia over the last couple of years. A lot of the good teams running them. Garry Rush campaigned Maxim chassis for a lot of years.
Oh!
Buell.
Car 53, almost up and over, collecting a wheel. They do tend to fly.
Exciting moment there for Tony. Was lucky not to come in heavy contact with the fence as we watch the replay now. Buell sort of dropped the big off the back of Donaldson there and gassed it up. Really just drove right into the right rear tyre.
That could have been a heck of a lot worse, couldn't it? You often see incidents like that and followed by 12 consecutive barrel rolls.
This is a godsend for Tommy. Now he'll have a bit of a clear track ahead of him, at least for 3 or 4 laps. We see Vogels in second. It's Judd running in third. David Murcott in 4th position. He was a guy who transferred from the B. He's come from the back in this one.
A heck of a drive. Then the KFC entry of Phil Johnson. Runs 5th on the circuit ahead of Matthews. I think it's Swayn further back behind them. Great pictures from Avalon International Raceway. Round 6 Auto Pro Series. They're running hot tonight, the boys. There's Murcott. No one running hotter than him, with the possible exception of our race leader, whom you're currently watching, Tommy Tarlton from the United States.
Tommy Tarlton just doing enough to stay in front at the moment. We can see Murcott's charging through the pack. Catching Tommy will be one thing, but getting past him will be another. The American will take it right up to the Australian.
The track looking like it will still produce plenty up top for any driver that's prepared to venture up a little high on the circuit. Definite cushion, and it looks to be drivable too. Well, at least from where I'm sitting.
Tommy Tarlton looks like he's doing it quite easy out in front there, so it'll be interesting to see if Murcott can get on the back of him. Will Tarlton lift to the challenge?
There's Murcott, winner tonight of the B main after starting from position 5. He started well back in this race, the A main, and up running very strongly.
Tarlton already into lap traffic now as he comes on the back of Sheils in the 36.
Sheils looked pretty quick, didn't he, in the earlier race, but not so on this occasion. There's the West Australian driver, Jeremy Warren. Talk about a commitment to your sprint car racing. Heading across to take part in this Victorian series. Every round he's been at so far.
Had a chance to catch up with him early. He's absolutely wrapped with running this series. Says he'll be back again next year.
Great stuff. Tarlton moved up on a slower car. We can see the nose-to-tail Indian file pattern starting to emerge with this race as the drivers tend to stick down lower on the racetrack. They seem to think, you would think the majority of them, that it's the quicker way round. The black stuff that you can see, rubber being laid down on the hard base. It's slicker now. Probably is the fast way around, if the truth be known.
You can see there the top wing on David Murcott's car's got quite a fair bit of angle on it. That's the only adjustment these guys can make during the race. They can move that big aerofoil on top. They can move that back. And as it goes back on the car, it actually gets more angle on it as well, creates more downforce.
Yeah, they have an adjuster in the car for their wing. Oh, Lewis cops a tap from Tarlton, I think you'll find, and does a complete 360 and stays on the racetrack. Sensational piece of driving.
Burnout pad's actually on the infield here at Avalon, but Lewis has done a 360 for us coming out of 4.
Amber lights on, Colin. We got problems here, which will bring this field under caution.
Oh no, our race leader.
Well, it all came from that tap that he gave Ian Lewis. I think that Tarlton got himself out of shape. Did he break something? Let's have another look. There's Lewis, centre of your screen. Watch the American behind him.
Tommy Tarlton looked like he was still going all right straight. He just got up in the loose stuff there.
May have clouded the wall, just out of picture, but comes to a rest. And Tommy Tarlton has capitulated. His car has anyway. That leaves David Murcott in control of proceedings. Judd in second. Then it's Vogels. Johnson in the KFC car. Van Bremen looks to be the Scots transport. Yeah, the Scots car out of Mount Gambier is up running next on the circuit. Well, Murcott is going to prove impossible to catch here, Colin.
Really, Tommy be kicking himself there. He's a professional sprint car driver out of California in the USA. That sort of stuff shouldn't happen running in traffic.
You know, unless something went wrong with the car, you had to say it looked to be brain fake.
But he, as we talked about earlier, all night tonight, you couldn't take any time in the lap traffic.
2 laps to go, round 6 Autopro Super Sprint Series. Despite a bold showing by the American Tommy Tarlton, it's going to be David Murcott, barring mechanical failure, who will emerge the victor in the President's Cup for the season of 2001. Round 6 Autopro Series. Some great battles further back in the pack. Look how slick the track has gone in the final stages. We've got the dual checkered flags too here in Geelong. Not quite sure why, but it looks good enough to me. Murcott the victor, Jeff Judd in second, Phil Johnson third. Been a really good night of racing. Hope you've enjoyed our exclusive coverage on C7 Sport. I'd like to thank our expert commentator Colin Farr for joining me on the program. He's become something of a resident commentator on our Speedway coverage here on C7 Sport, and we're pleased to have him. And in just a moment, we'll take you to Stuart McCarthy, who'll catch up with our winner. Look forward to your company next week on Checkered Flag. Here's Stuart.
The man that won round 6 of the Auto Pro Super Sprint Series. Dave, you won the B main. You've gone out and won the A main. Dave Murcott, you're going to be one happy man.
Yeah, we're very happy. The Metro Ramsdale car come home really good tonight. Had a good setup on it. Thanks to Dave Sharman, and yeah, everything kind of, apart from the first heat, went our way. So hopefully we can continue.
Boxing night, you also won the round of the Auto Pro Series, and also down at Tasmania a few weeks before, you had a big money win down there. Everything's going well for the Ramsdale team.
Yeah, like I said, everything seems to be going our way this year, and we've won a few good races. Hopefully we can get a few good results in some of the bigger races. That's more we're looking forward to. So, but it's good to get a win in the Auto Pro Series, and it's a really good series, and we're really happy to be up front.
And your sponsors and the series sponsors?
Yeah, Auto Pro, we've got, we'd like to thank them for making it a really good meeting and something worth winning. Like I said, the Metro Ramsdale car, National Rod Ends, Ballarat Windows, everybody, Agip Oils, everyone that makes it happen. Really like to thank them. Oval Express, they're really looking after me too, so we're really happy.
Well, we wish you all the best for the rest of the series, and we do hope to see you right up front there.
Thank you.